Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Review. Well, do you own the worst asset to hold and transfer in retirement? Well, folks, if you own an IRA, according to IRA expert CPA Ed Slott, not only do you hold the worst asset that you could hold in retirement, you also hold the worst asset that you could transfer after retirement. Well, let me teach you by going to taxessaved.com. That's taxes, T-A-X-E-S, saved, S-A-V-E-D.com, and request a saving tax optimization plan analysis. And here's why this is so important. What's happening is, and look, before they close the door, for those that still want to save taxes for 2024, get there quickly and request a calendar date and time. Please don't just put in a request, hey, I want to save taxes, but put in a specific date and time to discuss saving taxes, because there's a very thin window right before they close that door for those of you that still want to save taxes for 2024. Well, here's what's happening. There's some real opportunity in all this market uncertainty. You know, with the tariffs and the back and forth of what's this going to do to inflation and what's this going to do to trade wars, et cetera. It's gone kind of from the euphoria of this Trump bump to a Trump slump. And here's the opportunity to take advantage of the Trump slump. And this is according to Ed Slott as well. While we're at bargain basement low rates, right, because of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act that's been in effect since 2018, many of us listening this may be the lowest we see our taxes. Now, for a lot of you that don't believe me in that, because you're saying, well, I'm going to retire, I'm going to pay less tax. For those of you that have been heavy savers in IRAs, especially for those of you that have been higher income and now you live to a certain standard of income need, when you have to take out a much bigger gross number to get to the higher net needed number, especially with all this inflation, which is not going away, right, which is really another form of taxation, and then you look at the fact that you have no more deductions, or very little, if any, no mortgage payment, maybe or mortgage interest reduction, no children you can claim, and no contributions to lower your adjusted gross income. Folks, this is where many of you didn't realize, especially if you're just making that transition from accumulation, which is all about a portfolio, to distribution, which requires a plan. Many of you, it's a very sobering reality. I want to teach you before you get hit right between the eyes. And for some of you, and I think of a young lady that reached out to us and said, look, I had a very unusual tax year this past year, and I need to see what I can do before they do close the door to save some taxes for myself in 2024. I'm talking to you income earners as well. But whether you're going to drive your income off of these IRAs, right, or the government's going to force you to start deriving income off those IRAs, for those of you born between 1951 and 1959, you've got till age 73, and then you got to start paying the piper. But not only do you start paying the piper, then all of a sudden you have up to 85% of your Social Security that can be taxed. Then you can have a significant amount of your Medicare Part B and D premiums taxed. So whether you're a high incomer or a income earner, or a heavy saver in IRAs, or maybe both, go to taxessaved.com. That's taxessaved.com. Request a saving tax optimization analysis. That's an acronym, S.T.O.P, for Stop Overpaying Your Taxes. Folks, you work hard for your money. Imagine there was an article I talked about from the Wall Street Journal, or no, it was Investorpedia, about how to zero out your federal tax return by changing your withholdings so you don't owe more unexpectedly. How about just not owing at all, especially on these Roth conversions? So we have software that can show you what's the most optimal amount to convert, right? If you want to spread the tax out. I look at it and say, look, at these bargain basement rates like Mr. Slott is pointing out, take advantage of learning credits and deductions to offset having to report more income by avoiding having to pay the taxes altogether. Taxessave.com. Turn the Trump slump, right, into lower taxes before the Trump bump, and see what you can do, folks. I'm telling you, retirementtaxcalculator.com is a great resource for those of you that just want to go check it out for yourself. I think of Terry, who I talk about on Taxes Save Radio this weekend, and he ran an analysis at a very low growth return, and he will pay more in lifetime taxes than what his balance is right now at almost $1 million. So imagine having about $1 million and having to pay over $1 million just in taxes on that $1 million. We've seen worse, so the better growth you have, the more tax you're going to pay. But you can move it out of the way by going to taxessaved.com. That's taxessaved.com.